This will unlock the Bengals pass rush, how this player would change the trend for Cincinnati on defense, and why he makes perfect sense at pick 10. Hello everyone, happy opening day Cincinnatians. I'm Michael Makin. Thanks so much for joining us here on Bengals Digest. And we've got a player to dive into, a prospect, Texas Tech edge defender. You probably already know who I'm talking about if you follow along with the draft and who the Bengals could be getting. But we're going to dive into his stats. We'll take a look at all of his strengths, weaknesses, what people are saying about him, and just see why he makes perfect sense for the Bengals in the first round. But before we do, I'd like to shout out our subscribers. But if you're a part of the 76.4% who are watching this video who are not yet subscribed, be sure to hit that button, ring that bell, all that good stuff, because we've got plenty more prospect analysis videos and everything coming your way all off season long into the regular season and hopefully beyond that as well. And so without further ado, let's get into it and let's talk this guy. We are talking David Bailey, of course, the edge rusher out of Texas Tech. He was actually with Stanford for his freshman through junior years, transferred to Texas Tech and had an absolutely crazy breakout season. Led the FBS in sacks. Big time production player, production pick for the Bengals. Someone that changes the trend, because the Bengals have been going after potential over production for a while. And so now with this pick, they'd be going full on. This dude has got everything under his belt. All the awards, everything. So let's look into that. Let's pull him up. David Bailey here. He was a unanimous All-American this past year. Won Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year. And now let's go on to some of his stats as well that just back up everything that we saw from David Bailey. Had a 92.4 grade according to PFF. That was fifth best out of all the edges in the FBS, and then, well, the eligible ones. 73 pressures, which is just absolutely insane. First, out of 853 players, he was the best player at getting to the passer in all of college football last year, and that's just without a doubt. And so you're probably saying, well, he's going to be off the board. He might, guys, but, you know, if he's there, it'd be pretty darn nice if the Bengals were to grab him, and I think you can understand why. And so let's get into a little bit more of his stats as well. I'm going to pull up his football reference here, and you can see 14 and a half sacks, led the Big 12, led FBS, had 19 and a half tackles for loss. That did lead the Big 12. And you'll also see 3 forced fumbles. You'll see 5 his junior year back at Stanford. And this guy has just, as you can see, gotten better year after year throughout his college career. And you gotta love what David Bailey has done on the field and just what he's shown everybody. And man, is he an exciting player to watch. I just got done watching some David Bailey highlights, and his speed, his athleticism around the edge is just impeccable. You don't see anybody else doing that in college football. Just absolutely ran past most left tackles, right tackles, and he even has a pretty darn good spin move. And although he's primarily a guy who uses the bull rush, uses his speed around the edge, and he'll have to develop some more moves, some more pass rush moves for sure, but he's still very impressive and still a very talented guy who's got a lot of tools already. Let's pull up his prospect profile here, guys. This is all from NFL.com. They project him to be a year 1 starter. And you can for sure see that when you're watching his tape. 6.78 prospect grade, had a 98 production score, 80 athleticism, total score being 86, a 4.5 40-yard dash. Like I've been saying, that speed just jumps off the charts when we're talking the edge position. Nobody else is really like that at all. And so let's pull up what Lance Zierlein had to say, NFL analyst, just about his full overview of David Bailey. He said that he's extremely hard for linemen to stay in front of. He moves like a slashing two-guard, blending explosiveness and fluidity to slip, bend, and flow around blocks from multiple angles. His leverage and lower body flexion create a game-over scenarios once he reaches pocket depth with even a minor lead. He can be stalled when a blocker latches his hands deep, but Bailey's elusiveness and suddenness make him clean clamps a relative clarity.
He's instinctive with natural mid-rush counters, but he must continue developing hand usage and crafting rush plans for when protection shifts his way. Teams can run at Bailey due to his lack of anchor and take-on presence, but his work around quickness will also lead to tackles for loss. We saw that with, I think it was 19.5. His draft grade is slightly tempered by a lack of desired size and length, but the explosiveness and athletic talent is truly elite. His sack production should carry over to the NFL as an odd front rush linebacker with Pro Bowl upside, end quote. It's a good analysis there by Lance, and you just gotta like everything you hear about David Bailey, no matter some of the issues that he may have. And he also changes the size profile that the Bengals typically go after when we're talking about edge defenders. They're typically going after guys who are around 275, something like that, bigger guys. And this is the sort of speed edge rusher that the Bengals haven't really had ever, I feel like. Yeah, I mean, let me know if I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem like it. We're talking like a Micah Parsons, closer like body size. And so let's pull up some of Lance's strengths that he listed for him here. I'll read these off for all the audio people. He says he possesses rare short area twitch and reactive agility. He makes a lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage. He has explosive takeoff, leaves tackle little margin for error out of his stance. Widens rush on track to second step to create space at the corner. He builds speed and momentum as the rush ripens, has the lean, bend, and cornering to shrink wrap the pocket, natural rush instincts with quick reaction to blockers' pass sets, stacks an outside corner on top of his speed to power charge, fights through redirect blocks to stay connected to his track, able to flip his hips and shoulders to play quickly around run blocks, runs well and squeezes pursuit angles wide. Now let's switch over here to some of his weaknesses here. It says finesse approach can run against the run due to lack of size and power, can be caved in or torqued out by kicks, missing escape strength once he's struck on contact, average recognition of screens and misdirection, hand accuracy on swipes and chops is inconsistent, will need to develop inside counters to exploit oversets. All things that, honestly, I'm comfortable with because the upside is there. The athleticism is there. It's not just potential. There is potential, of course, with just his athletic ability naturally, but of course the production is there as well with David Bailey. And so it just changes the mold of the kind of players that the Bengals have been going after, like the Miles Murphys and Shamar Stewarts of the world. And I just think that this is honestly a home run pick for the Bengals, for their upgrading the defense, for adding to the pass rush room. And we know Duke Tobin has been talking all about pass rush all offseason. Here's what he said, quote, he said successful defenses have to be able to pressure the passer. You'd like to be able to pressure with 4. I think we need pass rush. I think that relieves some of the strain on the coverage. So I'm a guy that believes in the front on both sides of the ball. That is my focus. We all remember that Duke quote, of course, from his presser at the end of the season. And without a doubt, the Bengals could add a little bit more to the secondary. Even though they already added Brian Cook, they still could get. They don't have to draft David Bailey. They could go after Caleb Downs, add more to the secondary. But I'm feeling pretty okay with the secondary, aside from the fact that they should probably add a cornerback in the draft, without a doubt. A guy who knows how to play the slot and could just play alongside Jalen Davis. Doesn't have to steal his spot, but those two guys can duke it out, pun intended, during training camp and during the offseason and all that. And so, yeah, the Bengals need to add pass rush, but this is what they would have. This is what they would have if they are to add David Bailey to it. You're talking Boye Mafe, you're talking Miles Murphy, Shamar Stewart, Cedric Johnson, Isaiah Foskey, and then, of course, David Bailey. And this ain't bad. This really is not bad. I mean, we're talking about guys who have a lot of upside, a lot of athleticism in Boye Mafe, Stewart, Miles Murphy, all these guys. Really, except I don't know like too much. I'm not going to say I'm an Isaiah Foskey, everything knower. I really don't. I know he's a second round pick. I know he's one of Al Golden's guys from Notre Dame, but he never really panned out in New Orleans. And so we don't really know what he could ever add to the Bengals. He got a little bit of playtime last year. I would have liked to see the Bengals add one more guy in free agency, of course, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do that at this point. And so we're looking at the draft. And if we're looking for a DN to really transform this edge room, make a ton of plays, be an impact player, be a day one starter, be a yeah, just a guy who's noticeable in his rookie year. Where I'm tired of players like Dax Hill in his rookie year not seeing the field, Miles Murphy not seeing the field, Shamar Stewart hardly seeing the field. We got to move. We got to have guys who are going to be instant contributors to this Bengals defense, and I'm pretty confident that David Bailey would be exactly that. And so I think Al Golden with this unit is going to have a lot of options, a lot of guys that he can work with, get, different packages to create pressure. David Bailey is very, very exciting. But we don't have a lot of time, guys, until the draft. We're talking less than a month now. It's fastly approaching. And then we've got less than 170 days until the NFL regular season. I think this is a home run move for the Bengals. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Are you comfortable with the Bengals taking David Bailey at pick 10? Yes, no, in the comments. Did you want someone else? If you want someone else, who is it? Say that to me, because we want to hear from you. We love to hear from you. But that's all we've got for you on this edition of Bengals Digest. Like I said, comment. As always, like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff, because we've got plenty more coming your way. This has been Michael Makin with Bengals Digest.